Hi, it's me again, Tammy, and welcome back. Today's lesson will begin with lesson 25. Do the English speak English? These two men are speaking to each other, and they're both speaking English, but this man doesn't understand what he's saying. So let's read the article, and then we'll answer the question. Why does the writer not understand the porter? Then he spoke slowly. The article says, I arrived in London at last. The railway station was big, black, and dark. Railway. Railway is another way we can say train. I did not know the way to my hotel, so I asked a porter. A porter, this is the porter. A porter is a person who helps people with their baggage at the railway station. I not only spoke English very carefully, but very clearly as well. The porter, however, could not understand me. I repeated my question several times, and at last he understood. Several. Several means more than one, but not many. He answered me, but he spoke neither slowly nor clearly. I am a foreigner, I said. Foreigner. A foreigner is someone who is born in a different country than the country they're in or visiting. Then he spoke slowly. I could not understand him. My teacher never spoke English like that. The porter and I looked at each other and smiled. Then he said something and I understood it. You'll soon learn English, he said. I wonder. Wonder means to be curious, to know something more. In England, each person speaks a different language. The English understand each other, but I don't understand them. Do they speak English? Let's read the article again. I arrived in London at last. The railway station, the train station, was big, black, and dark. I did not know the way to my hotel, so I asked a porter, the person who helps people with their baggage. I not only spoke English very carefully, but very clearly as well. The porter, however, could not understand me. I repeated my question several times, more than one time, and at last he understood. He answered me, but he spoke neither slowly nor clearly. I am a foreigner, someone who was born in a different country than the country I'm in, I said. Then he spoke slowly, but I could not understand him. My teacher never spoke English like that. The porter and I looked at each other and smiled. Then he said something and I understood it. You'll soon learn English, he said. I wonder. I was curious to know something more. In England, each person speaks a different language. The English understood each other, but I don't understand them. Do they speak English? Why does the porter not understand, why does the writer not understand the porter? Because in England, each person speaks a different language. Now let's answer some questions about the article we've just read. Number 1, did you arrive at a railway station in London or not? Did you ask a porter the way to your hotel or not? Could he understand you or not? I arrived at a railway station and I asked a porter the way to my hotel, but he could not understand me. Number 2, did he understand you at last or not? Could you understand his answer? He understood me at last, but I could not understand his answer. Number 3, did your teacher ever speak English like that or not? My English teacher never spoke English like that. Number 4, what did the porter say to you? The porter said, you'll soon understand English. You'll soon learn English. Does each person speak a different language in England or not? Each person speaks a different language in England. Do they understand each other or not? Do you understand them? They understand each other, but I do not understand them. Now let's learn about letter writing. When we write a letter, we address the address of the person we're sending the letter to. The address appears at the top right-hand corner of the page. That's called the heading. And the address is always followed by the date. So in the top right-hand corner of the page, we write the address here. And the address is always followed by the date. So after the address, we write the date. So what I want you to do is practice writing your home address. And remember to follow the pattern above. Write your address in the top right-hand corner and follow it by the date. Now joining simple statements together to make compound statements. We can join simple statements together by using such words as and, but, so, yet, or, both. And we can use either or neither, nor, not only, and as well or also. Let's read these sentences and let's pay close attention to the way they have been joined. The first one says, he finished his lunch. He went into the garden. Joining them together to make a compound statement says, he finished lunch and went into the garden. I ran to the station. I missed the train. Joining them together, we will put, I ran to the station but missed the train. I saw him yesterday. He did not greet me. I saw him yesterday, but he did not greet me. He teaches English. I teach English. Both he and I teach English. He teaches English. He teaches French. He teaches both English and French. You must tell him. I must tell him. Either you or I must tell him. He plays soccer. He plays rugby. He plays either soccer or rugby. He does not speak English. I do not speak English. Neither he nor I speak English. He does not speak English. He does not speak French. He speaks neither English nor French. He cannot read. He cannot write. He can neither read nor write. You must wash the dishes. You must sweep the floor. You must not only wash the dishes, but sweep the floor as well. Now let's read the passage again and underline the joining words. I arrived in London at last. The railway station was big, black, and dark. I did not know the way to my hotel, so I asked a porter. I not only spoke English very carefully, but very clearly as well. The porter, however, could not understand me. I repeated my question several times, and at last he understood. He answered me, but he spoke neither slowly nor clearly. I am a foreigner, I said. Then he spoke slowly, but I could not understand him. My teacher never spoke English like that. The porter and I looked at each other and smiled. Then he said something, and I understood it. You'll soon learn English, he said. I wonder. In England, each person speaks a different language. The English understand each other, but I don't understand them. Do they speak English? Now let's join these sentences together using the joining words in parentheses. So number 1 says, I did not know the way to my hotel. I asked a porter. I did not know the way to my hotel, so I asked a porter. Number 2, I spoke English very carefully. I spoke very clearly. We're going to join this sentence with not only, but as well. I spoke English very carefully. Not only did I speak English very carefully, but I spoke it very clearly as well. Number 3, I repeated my question several times. At last, he understood. We're going to join this with and. I repeated my question several times, and at last, he understood. Number 4, he answered me. He did not speak slowly. He did not speak clearly. But, neither, nor. He answered me, but he did not speak slowly, nor did he speak clearly. Number 5, then he spoke slowly. I could not understand him. We're going to join these sentences with but. Then he spoke slowly, but I could not understand him. Number 6, then he said something. I understood it. Let's join this sentence with and. Then he said something, and I understood it. Number 7, the English understand each other. I don't understand them. We're going to join these sentences with but. The English understand each other, but I don't understand them. Letter C. Join these sentences with the words in parentheses. Number 1, I knocked at the door. He did not open it. Let's join this sentence with the word but. I knocked on the door, but he did not open it. Number 2, he went on holiday. I went on holiday. Let's join this sentence with both and. Both he and I went on holiday. Number 3, he must be mad. He must be very wise. Let's join this sentence with either or. Either he must be wise or he must be mad. Or he must be very mad. or he must be mad, or he must be very wise. Now let's join the following sentences using the words in parentheses. My sister went shopping. I went shopping. Both and. Both my sister and I went shopping. Number 2, we got very tired. We got very hungry. Let's join these sentences with not only, but as well. Not only did we get very tired, but we got very hungry as well. Number 3, it was 3 o'clock. We could not get lunch. We had a cup of tea. We're going to join these 3 sentences with and so. It was 3 o'clock and we could not get lunch, so we had a cup of tea. Multiple choice. Number 1, why couldn't the writer understand the porter? The writer didn't know any English. The porter didn't speak English. The writer couldn't understand the porter's English, or the writer was a foreigner. Well, the correct answer is the writer couldn't understand the porter's English. Number 2, the writer blank didn't think the porter was English, expected everyone in England to speak like his teacher, doesn't think the English speak English, or thinks that the English speak many different languages. The writer thinks that the English speaks many different languages. Number 3, English blank not a difficult language. English is not a difficult language. Number 4, blank did you repeat your question? The answer is several times. So the question is, how many times did you repeat your question? Number 5, he didn't speak slowly and he didn't speak clearly either. Number 6, the porter and I looked at each other. We both smiled. Number 7, he said something and I understood it. He said something which I understood. Number 8, I repeated my question several times. I repeated it a number of times. Number 9, at last he understood. He understood in the end. Number 10, I come from abroad. I am a foreigner. Number 11, my teacher blank me English. My teacher learnt me English. My teacher trained me English. My teacher instructed me English. My teacher taught me English. Number 12, you'll soon learn English, he said. I wonder. I am not sure. Now, let's rewrite this sentence. Because I did not know the way to my hotel, I asked a porter. I did not know the way to my hotel, so I asked a porter. I did not know the way to my hotel, so I asked a porter. I did not know the way to my hotel, so I asked a porter. I did not know the way to my hotel, so I asked a porter. This is the end of this lesson. When we begin our next lesson, in lesson 26, we will read about the best critics, the best art critics.